Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I am going to be reviewing and sort of doing a wear test of the Dossier Perfumes Floral Peony perfume. Now, the Floral Peony perfume from Dossier is an impression perfume from Chloe's Chloe fragrance, which is an incredibly floral perfume, as you could guess if you, Floral Peony. Come on, my friends. So the Floral Peony perfume, it has a concentration of 15%, which is considered an eau de perfume, which, let me pull it up here. Eau de perfumes are considered an intense fragrance, and they're expected to last about 4 to 5 hours, which I would have to say this particular fragrance from Dossier, I would have to agree with that. It is not the most long-lasting fragrance of all of the ones that I've had and that I currently am using, but it does last longer than what we're going to say like a body mist or body spray would. So this one does have a pretty good lasting time, but it's also not a super intense fragrance as far as power and how much it sort of, I'm going to say, radiates around you, which personally, in my opinion, I am not afraid to smell up a room, if you get my drift, right? If I am walking into a room, I am 100% okay with filling that room with my fragrance and with people saying, my word, you smell amazing. That's like my number one goal in life, is for somebody to say, you smell good. I love it. It just makes me so happy to hear that from somebody, is that you smell good. And so personally, when I am wearing a fragrance, I want it to be very expressive. I want it to be very bold. I want it to be very intense. I want it to move, right? I want it to radiate off of me. I want people to smell it. I don't want to be the only one to smell it. I want everybody to smell it. And I want them to associate that fragrance with me. So for me, this fragrance in particular, it doesn't really give me that jive. It's not a powerful fragrance. Now, the only way that I have been able to make this fragrance actually last a longer period of time and sort of give me that radiant, big, expressive, I'm going to say potency. The only way I've been able to get the Floral Peony fragrance to do that is if I put a lot on. If I use it more like a body mist. If that's how I use it, then we're talking, right? Then we're going to be having a little bit more wear time and we're going to have a little bit more of an expressive fragrance. But just with the typical, the elbow creases behind the neck, on your chest, those typical places, just doing a spritz there, it's not going to do it. It's not going to have that expressive, bold fragrance that I'm looking for personally. If you prefer to have a more, pared back, quiet fragrance, this one, that's precisely what it's going to do. So a little bit about the notes and the fragrances that are in here. So top notes are peony, lychee, and lily. Middle notes are rose, magnolia, and freesia, and then the base notes are musk, cedarwood, and honey. A lot of flowers. Lots of flowers. When they say floral peony, they ain't joking. Now, my personal experience with this fragrance. So, personally, I am not a florals girl, okay? If I were to choose any fragrance, I'm going to say family, that I am partial to, I would have to go with gourmand, okay? I am definitely your warm notes, your sweeter notes, your man, I sort of just want to eat you notes. That's what I'm going for. And so florals, they really just we don't jive, okay? We tend to not jive. And I would have to say, this is not my favorite perfume. I'm not going to grab this automatically. This is a great summer perfume because it is very light. It is very floral. It is very a fresher fragrance than anything else. Now, I would have to say the only reason it's fresh is because it is so floral. Like, the floral is bam, like every note except for musk and cedarwood and honey. All the notes except for the base notes, floral. Okay, and so, and all of the notes have sort of this lightness to them, okay? I would have to say that cedarwood could be considered more of a deep fragrance, but even at that, I consider cedarwood to be a little bit more of a light fragrance than anything else. Now, when I initially smelled this, okay, so, there it is. This has a little bit of like a zing to it, okay? When you initially spray it, when you initially smell it, it's almost sort of got this zippy, zingy fragrance. I do not know what that is. I'm going to be honest with you. As my nose becomes more of a professional, I might be able to communicate with you what that zing is. But right now, I don't know what it is. I'll get back to you on that. But it definitely has this zingy element to it, where when you spray it on, there's the florals. It's really soft. It's sort of like this like poofy kind of feeling, right? Like it's just, oh, you know, oh, I'm dancing on like the fattest little peony ever, right? That's what you get. But there's this zippy sort of, I almost describe it as like this electrical kind of feel, where it just like zaps you. It's like a sharpness right at the head of the fragrance. Personally, I'm not a fan of that. Okay, altogether, not a fan. But what I do have to say is that that zingy element to the fragrance, it does sort of settle out as the day wears on, okay? Now, like I said, the fragrance doesn't last that long, so that happens fairly quickly. But I would have to say that the zinginess sort of tapers off before the entire fragrance dies out and tires out at the end of the day. Definitely a lighter fragrance, definitely a, oh hey, we're gonna have mimosas in the garden at 11 a.m. Okay, that's sort of what I'm feeling here. Okay, that's what I'm feeling is definitely garden party. It's a girly day and it's about 75 degrees outside and there's a nice breeze. Okay, that's what I'm getting with this fragrance. Again, not my most favorite fragrance in the world. What I will say about this is that it is great for layering. Okay, so if you have, I have a couple of different fragrances that it's like, you know what? This is super heavy. This is sort of a heavier fragrance. This is sort of a deeper, I'd consider it more of a cool weather fragrance more than anything just because it's heavy. This, like one spritz of this might lighten it up a little bit. I wouldn't say that it works for all fragrances, and you know, obviously you have to sort of test out your fragrance pairings and your fragrance combos before you take them out into the wild. But I think that it is worth experimentation. If you purchase this and you're like, man, I'm not a fan, and none of your friends and family like it either, then I would definitely say that, you know what, keep it in your collection and just try and sort of mix and match it with other fragrances that are in your collection. Because I have found that there's a couple of perfumes that I would typically not wear in the summertime, and that I would sort of reserve for, oh, you know, it's October and it's about 50 degrees. But if I put just one spritz of this on top of it, then it sort of lightens it just a little bit, okay? And it lightens it enough that it's a little bit more appropriate for the summertime wear. So again, as far as the wear and the wear test goes, it does not last super long. For me, so I put it on today, and I put it on about, let's see, maybe about 6.5 hours ago. And it's sort of fading. I can smell a little bit of it, okay? I can smell a hint of it, which I think that that's pretty good considering that an Eau de Perfume with this concentration, it's supposed to last between 4 to 5 hours. Now, in order to make it last this long, I had to douse my upper body with this, okay? I was like, okay, because like I said, I like an expressive fragrance. And in order to make this last, I knew that I had to put a lot on. I have to wear a lot of this in order to make this last. And I do think that that has something to do with just your body chemistry. Obviously, everybody's body chemistry in their oils and just how their own body smells, it's going to affect how the fragrance smells on you. So if you find that florals smell amazing on you. You love the smell of florals on you, and florals last on you, then this is probably going to be a wonderful fragrance for you, okay? If you like things like Gucci Bloom, if you like the Chloe's Chloe fragrance, if you like any of those super florally fragrances, then this is probably going to be great for you. This is probably going to really work with your body chemistry and how your body, sort of deals with these oils, okay? The oils and the fragrance notes that are in this perfume. Personally, like I said, I prefer gourmands, but I really find that those warmer fragrances like amber, vanilla, marshmallow, things like that, they really last a very long time on me, okay? It's not just that they're a heavy fragrance and they last longer on most people. They legitimately last a really long time. Now, I will say I had my sister try this because my sister is a little bit more into florals and fresh fragrances than I am. She said that this was not quite up her alley. She tends to go more for those Dolce & Gabbana fragrances, the very, the ocean breeze and stuff like that. That's what she tends to go towards. So for her, this was not it. This was not her cup of tea. This is also, I would not consider this to be like your grandma perfumes, okay? The older florally fragrances that you might smell, the musky fragrances that you might smell. It's not it, okay? This is legitimately 100% your florals. If you are a florals flower, take me to the rose garden kind of lady or the peony garden, then this is the perfume for you, okay? So that's what I have to say. This retails, let's see here. So on Dossier's website, this retails for $29, which is comparison to the Chloe's by Chloe fragrance, which retails for $162, okay? And I would have to say, I've smelled the Chloe fragrance. This is a pretty darn close dupe, okay? So $29 versus $162 is a major difference. So if you are considering the Chloe by Chloe fragrance and you're really, you'd really rather test it out and see how that floral does with you and your body, then I would 100% recommend that you purchase this first, okay? That you would just purchase the smaller bottle of this, give it a try, give it a whirl, and that's sort of what I love about Dossier, is that they have all of these incredible fragrances, popular fragrances, nice fragrances, for such an affordable price. So that is my review of Floral Peony. If you are interested in purchasing the Floral Peony fragrance for yourself, then I am going to link it down below so you can find it. I'm also going to have an LTK page where basically I'm just sharing my entire perfume collection with you. So if you click on that below in the description box, you will be able to find all of the perfumes that are in my collection. And whenever I find a new perfume, I will add it to that sort of folder, that page, and you can just follow that and stay in the loop with the fragrances that are going to be coming to this here channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did enjoy it, then make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below for some more perfume reviews coming your way. I love you oh so very much, and until we meet again, so long.